Okay, so welcome. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on the Healy app. So this is not scripted, so I'm just going to kind of share with you these three apps and what you can do with these three apps. Now that you've just gotten your Healy, hopefully this will be useful to you. I'm sure there's many things that I won't talk about, and that's just because there's so many different features, and they always say there's no right or wrong way to use your Healy. So here we go. Okay, so you should have these three apps downloaded onto your phone. They call them the pink app, the blue app, and the wave app. So you'll hear reference to the apps in this way. The first one I'm going to pull up is the pink app. And let me get connected to my device. So it's going to ask you to connect to your device. I just turned my device on. So take a second here to now search for it. And okay, and then we'll hit continue. And it's going to pull up the last, if you were running a program, it's going to pull up the last program. I'm going to cancel out of that. As you can see, I was running bed rest last night. So these are the programs that you would have. So depending on what edition you have of Healy, it will depend on which ones you're seeing here. So if you see extra on your app or maybe less, it just really depends on what edition you have. Right now I'm sharing with you the Resonance Plus, my Resonance Plus Healy. So you're seeing all of the programs that are within the Resonance Plus. Now, if you wanted to run one of these programs, all you would do is these are the different headers for those programs. So let's say we're going to go into Gold Cycle. If you just got your Healy, the 12-day protocol is underneath this. And so I think it's pure that you run for the first 3 days. I want to point out one thing here. You'll notice, and hopefully you can see my cursor, if it says IMF up here in the corner, that means that you can run these programs not only with the electrodes, so the electrodes are either the wristbands or the sticky pads. You can run them either with those or you can run them with the coil. If it doesn't have IMF, then you are not able to run it with the coil. You have to run it with the wristbands or the sticky pads. I'll give you an example. I'll go back here. If you go into pain and stimulation, so any kind of pain programs that you might be running, you'll notice they do not have the IMF up in the corner, which means you cannot run the program with the coil. You have to run it with the sticky pad. All right, let me go back. So if you are in the pink app and you want to run the app, we'll go back to the cycle. I'll select pure. Say that I'm hooked up to my electrodes, which I'm not yet. They will be on your wrist through the wristband, and you'll hit start. It's going to transmit the program to your Healy, and this might take less than 1 minute typically. Depends on your connection, so we'll allow this to kind of transmit to our program, to our actual Healy devices. So you can see it here. So this is what I refer to as the hardware, and the app is what I refer to as the software. While that's loading, I'll just mention that Healy suggests that you do not use more than 3 microcurrent programs each day. So there is a limit to the microcurrent programs. And when I say microcurrent, that means when you're using the wristbands or the sticky pads. The coil or the vibrate, you can use as many programs as you want in a day. And I'll be speaking about the vibrate here in a moment when we get to the blue app. Okay, so again, we're in the pink app. I selected to run the pure. You can see at the bottom, there's this little reflector over top of it, but it's translucent. So you can kind of see that you can start to play around with these plus and minus. So you can see that I'm going up to 35 and 40 and 45. Once you start to feel tingling through the straps or the electrodes, that's when you want to stop extending. Some might think, well, I'll just move it up all the way to 100%. Actually, what they say is once you start to feel the tingling, that's when you stop going up. If you feel the tingling at 35, you'll stop at 35. If you go all the way up to 100 and you're not feeling the tingling, then that means you probably are dehydrated. If you are dehydrated, then you need to drink some water or even place some moisture underneath the wrist straps, and then you just start to feel that tingling. Okay, so we're going to actually stop this. We're not going to run the program. You'll notice that most of the programs in the pink app are anywhere from 20 to about 57 minutes. All right, we're going to get out of here. and go back. Again, we're still in the pink app, and what I'll say about the pink app is that if you don't want to have the straps attached to you, for example, if you're using one of the fitness apps, Weight, Muscle Harmony, any of the fitness apps, you know, if you're working out while you're using your Healy, feel free to use the coil. I'm not going to go into the coil necessarily on this, but this is what the coil looks like, and then you can clip it onto you. What they say about the coil versus the straps is that at least once a day, you should be running a Healy program where you are actually hooked up to a microcurrent. Again, the maximum, according to Healy, is 3. However, if you are using the coil on your pink app and you're not hooked directly into the microcurrent, then you can run as many programs as you would like. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to close out of, oh, now you're seeing my text messages. Okay, I'm going to close out of the pink app. You cannot run more than one of the 3 Healy apps at the same time. So if you are running the pink app and then you're going to move over to the blue app or vice versa, make sure you're closing out some. Okay, now I'm going to go into the blue app. The blue app is where we can analyze the biofield and also, excuse me, connecting, and where we can also vibrate those frequencies into our body. So when you are using the blue app, you do not have to be hooked up to your straps or your electrodes or your coil for that matter. That is the biggest difference between the pink app and the blue app that I want you to understand in this moment now that you're new to Healy. The pink app is used when you're hooked up to the coil or the straps, and the blue app is used to analyze or vibrate through the app, through the biofield. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to point out is at the bottom of this, you will see that it says me at the very bottom, and then next to that, which might be hard to see because of this translucent reflector, you can click on clients at the bottom, and this is how you add clients. If I hit the plus sign at the bottom, it's going to allow me to add a new client to my app. I can add a person, I can add an animal, a plant, an organization, a building, a vehicle, a group, or other. And let's just talk about this for a second. So if everything has a frequency, everything is vibrating, everything is in motion and oscillating, then it makes sense that everything can be added into the Healy app and sent frequencies through the vibrate feature. I'm not going to go in and show you on this video how to do that, but I wanted to let you know that you can add clients and vibrate to them in addition to yourself. I do want to just make note of the group feature. The group feature would be an example of I have my family added as a group. You can see them right there in the middle as the Martinellis, and I can vibrate to my family at any time, during the day, at night, whatever it is. I can also run scans on my family. This video is going to focus more on you, so I'm going to go back to the little me at the bottom, and you will see me here at the top. If you can see my cursor, there's a picture of me, and it says me. If I was in a client, it would have the client's name up here. Then you can also see that there's modules and there's history. If I click on history, it's going to show any of the apps that any of the analyses or scans that I've run on myself, and I can go back historically and pull up any of these scans that I have run on myself. Okay, I'm going to go back to modules though and talk about these options that you have. This first option right here is the resonance. That is where you're going to run the scan or analysis on yourself. I'm going to show you that here in a minute. This second one is if you have a Mag Healy. We're not going to go over that now. Mag Healy is an additional to your actually Healy device. The third one down is resonance. I will show you that in a moment. And then we'll also talk about Aura and Coach. It's important to note that if you do not have the Resonance Plus or Pro Edition, you're not going to have the scan feature and you're not going to see these. You're not going to be using the blue app. This is only for people who have those additions and those softwares added to their Healy. Okay, so if you go into this resonance, there's a couple different options. Say I actually click on my iPhone and I tap where it actually says resonance. Again, what it's going to pull up again is the scans that I've already pulled in the future. So I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to click on the plus sign. The plus sign is what is going to actually run the scan or program on me right now. Typically what we do is we like to do a double scan. So the first thing you'll notice, first of all, let me scroll through and just show you that these are all of the different scan programs that I can scan on myself. Even though I do not have all of these programs because I have the Resonance Plus, you will actually see all of the programs on the blue program. So it's not a mistake. I'll give you an example. This is not a Pro Edition. This is the Resonance Plus. However, you can see that the digital nutrient mixture program right here, you can see that that is actually included in your blue scan because all of the Healy programs are going to be in your blue scan regardless of what edition you have. All right. So what you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to click on all Healy programs. This is what I mean by double scan. The very first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to, searching for my device, closed off, and I click back on it. I'm going to pick my Healy device. I'm going to connect to it, and it's going to find it. Sometimes when you get back into the blue app, because I was in the pink app, it's going to need to find your Healy device again. That's normal. That's fine. It's running the scan on me. As it's running the scan on me, what you want to do is the intention is important. So if you were looking at your protocol, you know, the first thing is that you need to be hydrated. The second thing is you have to send an intention. And the third thing is you need to ground, particularly when you're using your pink app. So in the blue app, it's really important to set an intention while it's scanning. It's like getting into a taxi cab and not telling the taxi driver where to go. If you're not setting an intention, there's nowhere for the Healy app to go. So you need to get in the taxi cab and you need to tell the driver where to go. And that's how you do that is through your intention. So you can see that Healy is saying that these are the 5 different programs that will be most useful to me in this moment based on the scan that it did on my biofield. The first one was Bioenergetic Defense Program. Now, in all of these programs, there are multiple programs, okay? So these are kind of like the header of the program. It's called Bioenergetic Defense Program. And within there, they can be up to 12, even 72 programs within those headings. So what we want to do now is go back out and do a double scan, meaning I'm going to go back out, I'm going to hit the plus sign again, and I'm going to go to that Bioenergetic Defense Program. It has 8 different apps in it. Healy was saying that this was at the top of my list of useful apps for me to run at this moment. And again, I'm going to start the analysis, and my intention is going to be which of these apps are most useful to me in this moment. All right, and so you could see that it's pulling up these. I've actually never seen this one before, Planet. Very interesting. You can go into your big book of Healy apps and you can read about big book of Healy programs, and you can read about what these programs mean. If you don't know where those are, those should be in the links on your onboarding app that you received from either me or the person that sold you the device. All right, so at this moment, I have a couple different options of what I can now do. You will see at the bottom of the screen, there's a big blue button that says vibrate. I can literally touch that button and decide that I want to vibrate these frequencies into my body, into my biofield. And towards the bottom, you will see it says select duration. It is automatically going to default to 1 minute, 20 seconds. If I click that arrow over, you can see that I can scan through this and I can pick any of these options up to 9 hours. Now, what they say is typically, you know, there's no right or wrong way to use the Healy. I'm actually going to select, select 8 seconds. Okay, done. There's no right or wrong way to use your Healy. They say that if it's more of a chronic condition, that the longer is probably better. And a more acute condition, the frequencies are going to be more potent and you can run them for shorter periods of time. I have talked to people that will run and vibrate these frequencies into, for example, their family overnight while they're sleeping. I run some of the vibrate frequencies every morning for maybe 1 minute. I run some of the coaching programs for 6 to 12 minutes. I'm going to talk about those later. But for now, I'm just going to run it for 8 seconds so you can see what that looks like. I'm going to start it, and Healy is going to start to vibrate those frequencies that it selected as the most useful to me. It's going to finish because I only selected 8 seconds, and then I can click finish. Okay? And so you get to decide the duration. I want to reinforce what I just said earlier is that I'm in the I'm in the blue app right now. When you're in the blue app and you're vibrating frequencies into your body, you do not have to be hooked up to the coil or the strap. That is for the pink app only. I want to give you another option now. So let me go back to that program that I just ran, that scan, and you will see that Healy was telling me that this planet program was most useful for me at this time, and I decided to run it through the blue app. One of the other options is you can actually go out of the blue app and go back into the pink app by running the program while you're hooked up, okay? So there are different options. That is the difference between the pink and the blue. I hope I'm making sense here. So again, let me just kind of reinforce what I just said. If you're in the pink app, you are running individual programs. You cannot run multiple programs at the same time. Let's go back to here. Let me go back in and just select my pink app. Again, the pink app is going to need to reconnect to your device. Every time you're switching, this is good for you to see because every time you're switching back between blue and pink, you have to reconnect into your device. So now I'm going back to my pink app. And I can run that program or any program by selecting it. Okay, I'm going to go back out and I'm going to go back into my blue app because I want to show you more things, more cool things with this blue app. So it's going to, again, reconnect. Okay, and now, so I showed you how to use that top one here. I'm not going to go over the Mag Healy today. This resonance, you can actually click the plus sign and you can scan and see. There's some really cool things here. If you want to run a scan on yourself with one of these, I'm not going to do that today during this video. You can run a scan. I just do want to point out that these are not necessarily Healy programs. So you will not find any of these in your pink app. You cannot run these programs with microcurrent, but what you can do is you can run a scan in your blue app and then vibrate that into you. All right, let me come back out. The other two are the aura and the coaching. What I suggest is you really just play around with these. You know, when you first get your Healy, it's very exciting. There's all different ways to use it. One of the most powerful ways I found to use the Healy is the Coach app. So I just want to briefly show it to you. Not going to go into a lot of detail, but just briefly show you since it is an option on your blue app. You can see that I've run some coaching analysis on myself in the last couple of weeks. What I'm going to do here, though, is click on the bottom, this big blue button that says New Coaching Analysis. This is where you'll have the option of two things. You can either select Focus or Enter manually. If you click this arrow on the all the way over to the right, it's going to allow you to select from pre-loaded, almost like affirmation. So it says, I am at peace with myself. Maybe I want to use a coaching analysis on that. I'm actually going to cancel out of this because I find it much more powerful and much more useful to actually type in your own mantra. And the way in which I like to explain this is stating something as it has fully manifested into the world. So I'm going to actually use it. I'm going to say, and you can include other people in this. So I'll include other people in this one as the example. I want to say the Shine Healy Team is having so much fun pulling in health and abundance with their Healy device. All right. So first I want to point a couple things out. Notice that my affirmation or my statement is in the present and it is positive. So you wouldn't type anything like, I want the pain in my knee to go away. That is not already manifested and that is not positive. You would say something instead like, my knee feels amazing. I am healthy, whole, and vibrant. So something like that instead, okay? The other thing I want to point out is that you can put other people into your coaching app. So I have chosen not to just include me in this analysis, but the entire Shine Healy team. I'm going to start the analysis. Again, it's searching for my device. It's going to pick it up. I'm going to connect to it. Yes, it's now going to start the analysis, and it's going to pull in different aspects of who I am, different kind of features, and then I can select them. So typically, I think when you're doing a coaching, you can go one of two ways. You can pick the ones that are most already strengths for you, so that would look like green, or you can pull the ones that are probably the biggest opportunity areas. You can see it's already highlighting the potential here. That's the biggest opportunity area. I'm going to pick a couple of these. I'm going to also pick personal relationships. I'm also going to, why not? Let's just pick finances and let's pick social interactions just for the fun of it. And then I'm going to hit continue. And it is going to do an analysis on all of those while this is running. Okay, and then at the bottom, so it's pulling up different things at the very bottom, that big blue button, I'm going to hit start analysis, and we're ready to go. As it's analyzing, I just want to say that in your Healy Academy, there is an actual official video of how to use your coaching app, so feel free to look at that as well. This is just my take on the blue app, which includes the coaching app, but there are many, many different videos in your coaching, in your Healy Academy that you can also do. Okay, so it has now run the scan on me, and I'm not going to necessarily go through what all of this means. I will say that as you read through it, you're going to notice that it's some things that really resonate with you, and I don't necessarily want to analyze that with you. What I want to talk to you about with the coaching app is now I can vibrate these frequencies into me. And the reason why that is so powerful is if you're thinking of, you know, I'm a teacher of vibration and energy. Everything that I teach and share with my students are based on the law of attraction. And what I know to be true is that when you start to vibrate these frequencies into you, whatever it was that you said, so the Shine Healy team is having so much fun pulling in health and abundance with their Healy device. Now these frequencies are going to go in and they are going to actually make me closer to that statement. And when that happens, it must be its law and it will start to begin to manifest. So as you vibrate these frequencies into your biofield, you will start to notice that things are starting to manifest and come real into your life. Now, when I hit that big blue vibrate button, you will have the same option as before on the other scans at the bottom where it says select duration, and the default is 1 minute. When I am vibrating a coaching scan into me, I usually like to pick 6 minutes or 12 minutes. Again, there's no right or wrong way to use your Healy. That's just what I like to do. However, for the sake of this example, we're going to vibrate it for 4 seconds. Done. Start. It's going to start to vibrate those frequencies into the Shine Healy team. It is done. I'm going to click finish. You run those on a consistent, deliberate basis, and you will start to notice that your external world will change. I'm going to go back out. Actually, you know what? I didn't share the last app. Again, okay, not scripted. Okay, let me close out of this. I want to show you one more Healy app, which is the Wave app, which is the search feature. This is not running or vibrating any frequencies. This app is just used for you to actually search Healy. For example, what is the best program for me? I'm going to click on the search feature. I'm going to start to type in word sleep. Sleep. Healy is going to pull up all of the programs that are available to you that are going to run frequencies associated with whatever word you put in. You can see that it pulled up 4 programs. So again, this Wave app, I'm going to get out of it so you can go back and see it. This Wave app, the third app you see here, again, is to use for you to search apps that you might want to use and run on your Pink app. All right, so that's our video for today. I hope you found that useful. Please feel free to share this with your team and your members as well. Thank you. Bye for now.